This is the She Dares to Travel podcast, and I am your host, Raquella Pollock. After spending a decade managing the #1 travel agency in Canada and now working with tourism businesses in risk management, I am here to connect you with women who are taking the travel industry by storm, as well as business professionals with a passion for travel, just like me. We are here to inspire, motivate, and uplift you to not only follow, but plan out your dreams, no matter where in the world they may be. Be sure to leave a review, subscribe, and follow along. Hello, all you daredevils. Welcome back to another episode. Thank you for being here with me and talking about what I love the most, travel. Who could not love it? And right now, this episode, I really want to dive into European travel and all the different tips and tricks you'll need to make sure that your European holiday goes off without a hitch, so to speak. And I know summer is coming up. We're still in the dead of winter here. It's cold. So let's start thinking about the warm beaches in Croatia and Italy and all the beautiful spots in Europe. So here we go. I have put together a list of some of my must-dos, if you will. So grab a pen and paper or just sit back and listen and let me know what you think. Hit subscribe, drop a review. I would love to hear from you. So first things first, of course, you need to figure out your itinerary and where you're wanting to go. When it comes to European travel, the best thing I love about Europe when you compare it to Canada is, well, Canada is very big and very spread out. So if I'm wanting to travel somewhere, it might take me a long time to get there. Whereas when it comes to Europe, you actually have so many countries at your fingertips. So I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make is try to cram everything into one trip. So you may have 5 or 6 countries you want to see, and you maybe only have 2 weeks. Think about what type of trip you want. Do you want to be packing and unpacking, moving constantly in or on a train or in a plane? What type of holiday do you want? For me and my husband, we personally like to travel with a little bit more relaxed time. So maybe 3 nights in a destination just to really soak it in, or longer, of course, too. So really be very intentional about what countries you want to go to and how long you're going to be there, so you're not feeling like you're constantly in a taxi or at an airport. Now, once you've figured all that out and you know where you're going, make sure you have all your required travel documents. Make sure you print them out. You have copies. I like to have mine on my phone as well as print out a hard copy just in case. And then make sure you give them to people that you do love back home. My mother-in-law, she actually is on a 6-month trip right now throughout all of Asia, and she has left a full itinerary for us that she hand wrote. It's very cute, but it's incredible to have because we at least know where she is and we can kind of, enjoy the journey with her as she is on this whirlwind trip. So make sure you drop it off. It's also for safety too, just so people know where you are. So some things that seem like a no-brainer, but I've actually forgotten before. Whoops, guilty. Pack a travel adapter or converter that is for Europe. Europe isn't a 220 volt. We are 110 here in Canada, so make sure you have a converter that properly works that you bring with you. And when talking about packing, I love to pack a pair of shoes for every occasion. And unfortunately, you just can't do that when you're in Europe. So think about how you're traveling again. Are you going to be needing to go up and down a lot of steps or cobblestone streets? I know over in Positano, over in Italy, a beautiful location to stay. A lot of the hotels are up on a cliff, so you will be lugging that bag. So think about packing light and something convenient. I like to do a backpack that I bring on the plane, and then also a small purse just for when I'm going out in the day. And then your actual suitcase, you want to think intentionally about the size of it. And if you want 4 rollers, which I do like, or if you want something that actually is soft-sided and you can turn into a backpack, there are a lot of options. So that is a big tip. Another one is try to sleep on the flight. It's a long flight from wherever you're going. From Canada, it's typically 10 hours. So try to sleep on that flight. I am not a very good sleeper on an airplane. I like to actually try to break everything up into movies. So if it's a 9-hour flight, I'm like, okay, that's 1 meal and 4 movies. Great, I'm going to make it. But then I find when I arrive, and the arrival time is key. If I'm arriving at 10 a.m. in Amsterdam, I now have to push through that entire day to sleep and make it to 7 or 8 o'clock at night so I can get on their time zone and not feel jet lagged. And going there is always, I find, a bit easier than coming back, but definitely try to sleep on the flight as best best you can. And one tip I got from someone a couple episodes ago I spoke with, her long flight advice was to try to make it as comfortable as you would at home. So what are the things you typically do before bed? Do you put lotion on? Do you have a sleep mask? Do you put pajamas on? Go into the bathroom and on the airplane and change. Put on your pajamas. Get comfortable to make it an environment that you want to sleep in. Now, as far as Europe goes itself, double check the country you're visiting. So again, multiple countries, most of them are on the euro, but double check because some of them are not. So depending which country you go to, you want to make sure you have local currency and you have some cash in hand. So you're not, trying to use ATMs and then you've got all these ATM fees. Make sure you do travel with that. I have had questions about money belts before. Personally, I have never used a money belt. I think they're absolutely cumbersome. The last thing I want to do when I'm trying to buy a baguette in Paris is lift up my shirt to unzip a zipper and then take out money to give them. It doesn't sound very appetizing. And honestly, I've never used one and I don't think I will. Crossbody bag with multiple zippers on the inside for women. For men, keep your wallet in the front of your pant pocket just because pocketers could be in the back pocket. So just keep that in mind when you are traveling as well. So local currency is a must. Do not exchange it at the airport. We've done that. You do get dinged heavier fees on the exchange rates. One tip I do love to share, if there's a currency converter place in your city, check online if you can order it in advance and sometimes you get 10% off. That's right. 10% off of the exchange. Really, really important. Now, as far as the countries you're going to, I think it is just common courtesy to always try to learn the language of the country you're in, even if it's hello, goodbye, thank you, where's the bathroom, simple things that really the locals do appreciate. It's just on the flip side, if someone was here in Canada and they were learning how to speak English, I appreciate them trying to speak. So that one is a really good respect one. Although I must say in Paris, tried to speak French and my French is not good on the best of days and it didn't go so well. So still try though. I highly recommend. It's an adventure. Have fun with it. Other tips that I do want to make sure everybody knows is avoiding, obviously, those pesky roaming charges. So your phone, of course, keep it on airplane mode if you need to, and then use Wi-Fi for whatever you can. There's a great app we used recently when we were in Hawaii called Air Allo. I've spoken about it before. I should be getting sponsorship for this app because I'm telling so many people about it, but I don't. But it's Air Allo, AIRALO, and it is an eSIM that you download, you connect it right into your phone, and it's got tons of different countries and allowances, so you can actually have data on the go, which is really helpful, of course, for when you are out in the city and you decide to have that eat, pray, love moment where you're just going to get lost and you're not going to look at a map and you're going to take the next corner that's drawn to you, but then you got to get back to your hotels, so you might need a map to get back. So the Air Allo map or app is really, really good with the data. So use that just to help save on costs. On top of that, we want to make sure that when you are traveling, you're looking at all travel options. So Europe has so many different options. And again, another app I've talked about, Rome to Rio, ROME, number 2, and then RIO. And this is just a logistics app. It's going to you put in point A to point B, put in Switzerland to Italy, and it's going to give you all of the options to get from point A to point B. I'm talking bus, train, plane, water taxi, if that's a thing, probably not. But that is a really great way. And it actually you can put in your estimated date or time of travel, and it will give you a rough price. So that is a really helpful one, even when you're in destination and you spur of the moment, want to go somewhere, but you're just not too sure how to get there. Absolutely use that. And travel by train. Train can seem a bit intimidating when you're in Europe, but they've got it dialed in. I'm talking, they have got it so well organized that you show up onto the platform at the train station, 15 minutes before the train arrives, and then your train shows up, there's an announcement, a call, you get on board, you throw your bag in the bag spot, and you sit down and enjoy. It is a very stress-free way to travel. Europe, specifically for trains, I've got to say the best train system I've seen is in the UK, in London. We were a bit intimidated at first. We bought a pass when we were there, and you literally follow the colored lines on the wall to get where you need to go. It is that easy. It is that easy. So definitely expand your adventure by traveling by train in Europe. Also, though, if there's something further and you don't want to spend hours on a train, of course, you can fly, and you can fly very cheap with really inexpensive local airlines. Ryanair, Aer Lingus is one in Ireland and Scotland. Like, these airlines are very inexpensive, but double check what is and is not included. If you have a checked bag, add it on beforehand. Otherwise, you're paying a premium at the airport. So make sure that you double check, again, what's included. Seats, if you really prefer an aisle, buy the aisle. So it does add up. But if you really don't care and you just want to show up with your backpack, great way to go. On top of that, Europe, of course, is absolutely stunning. And there's so many incredible spots to eat, to shop, to see. And I always recommend trying to get off the beaten path, as most people would. But when you're eating local, for example, in Italy, you can almost tell where the very highly tourist spots are. They usually have a plastic menu out front or a plastic menu in the window, and there's a lot of people there because it's usually in a prime location. It's gonna be okay food, but you really gotta find those authentic local spots. So use Yelp, use TripAdvisor, try to find places and actually talk to the locals. Talk to the locals. If you're using an Airbnb, talk to your host. Where do you recommend for a place that's absolutely authentic food that you would eat? And that's some of the best experiences we've had traveling the world. Sri Lanka, we did that with our driver that was driving us around. We said, where would you go for lunch? And he's like, you want to eat where we would go for lunch? And we're like, yeah, let's go. And we ate with our hands. It was absolutely delicious. So you get these really unique experiences. So make sure you ask the locals about where you can eat. On top of that, staying with a local. Where are you going to stay? Look at the homestays, look at the HomeAways and the VRBOs or Verbos, however you say it, Airbnbs, and see what you can do. See if there's an exchange, see if there's a work abroad even. And again, that experience is what is going to last a lifetime. We actually like to do it where we'll stay in some hotel chains just to get that experience, talk to the concierge, then we'll stay in some Airbnbs. And in staying in the Airbnbs, we get a little bit more of that laid back feeling of being like we're living in another country, which you just can't beat that feeling. Another one, of course, is bring comfortable walking shoes. I made the mistake on our first time going to Europe that I brought I was really cheap, okay? And I bought runners from Ardeen's, which is this, I don't know, Ardeen's or Claire's. It's this really like inexpensive clothing store. So I bought these runners. They're very cute. They lasted all of maybe a week and I started to get blisters. I ended up going to like a Sport Check in Spain to get quality running shoes because my feet deserved it. And you're on your feet so much because you're wanting to explore and see the sights. And you look on a map and you're like, that's not that far. I can walk that. Very, very important. And remember, cobblestone everywhere. So you can ditch the heels, bring wedges if you want, if you do want a little bit of a lift, or make sure that you're taxing if you wear your heels on the cobblestone. That's my advice for there, definitely. Otherwise, there's so many other things to remember just to make sure that you do have cash on hand. A lot of the places, if you do need to use a bathroom or a toilet, one tip, don't say the word bathroom or washroom. No one will understand what you're saying. Just ask for a toilet. Is there a toilet? Universal word to go to the bathroom is toilet anywhere in Europe, and you likely will have to pay a fee. So carrying a little bit of cash with you to pay €1, €2 just to use a bathroom, you may need to use it. So make sure you do have that with you. I did talk a little bit about money and the ATMs, and there are pretty hefty ATM fees. So same thing, make sure that you are doing a currency conversion beforehand. You can still use the ATMs. You can still use your credit card at all of, the major restaurants or things like that. So don't be too concerned. Let your credit card company know in advance that you're traveling. I had it one time where we were going to the Maldives and I didn't let them know because they said, you don't need to let us know anymore. We now track it. It's artificial intelligence. We're good. And then of course I couldn't take money out when I was on the Maldives, and that was unfortunate. So I had to call them. So I just now let them know that I'm traveling no matter what. And then it's one less thing to have to worry about. Also on these trips, for Europe, you really want to make sure as you are going to different countries, you're checking what currency they require, but also what visa requirements there are. So a lot of people don't know, or it's something that's maybe not top of mind when booking, is you actually have or are only allowed to stay in Schengen countries for 90 days. So there's a list of what countries are part of the Schengen Union. You want to make sure that you stay. If you're doing a longer trip, you could actually leave and go to a non-Schengen country for a bit just to kind of extend your time and then come back and you would still finish your 90 days. So make sure you check the visa requirements on every country you're going to, what is required if you get a visa on entry, or if you need to do it beforehand. Very, very important to avoid disappointment or getting denied on a plane, because that has happened before. Also take a look at best times to visit. Weather-wise, I mean, the weather is going to be, summer months are beautiful weather, typically. I say that in knowing that I went in August to Ireland, hoping that that would be better weather, and it rained almost the whole time. So of course, grain of salt, travel is one of those things where you just want to go and have fun and embrace the adventure. We went to the Cliffs of Moher over in Ireland, and we got all the way up to hopefully see these beautiful cliffs. It was a bit foggy out. We couldn't see a thing. We have a picture of us with windbreakers on in the rain with just fog behind us, which is supposed to be the beautiful Cliffs of Moher. I think I'm going to have to superimpose us for that one, but it's all a part of the adventure too. So definitely take a look as best you can and then just have fun. Have fun. All in all, when it comes to Europe, I think the biggest thing to remember is that you are in someone else's home. And when you are enjoying every aspect of the country that you're in, try to think of it like it is your home too. So you always want to go to these places, leaving it a little bit better than you found it. So take that experience, take that moment and share it with other people. And then, a lot of the time too, when things are really busy in Europe, it's because there's a lot of tour buses. So one thing you really want to make sure is if you are up early, go early to the squares. If you're up, we were up really early in Italy. We went to St. Mark's Square. There was 0 people in it. 0 people. So that is a really big one too, that you always want to try to avoid. Or we went to the Plitvice, I believe is how you say it in Split. It's the Plitvice Falls, which are these gorgeous waterfalls. You really want to go early because all the buses of tourists come at 11 a.m. So at that point, you are crammed with people on these bridges and boardwalks to see and view all of these waterfalls. So take a look. Again, look online, TripAdvisor it, reach out if you have any questions about places to go or travel advice. I always love to connect more and share all of the insight and travels and mistakes that I have done in the travels. So I hope that these tips are something that really do help. I hope they inspire you when you're planning your next trip to Europe. And again, leave a review. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Thanks so much. When it comes to beautiful British Columbia, Vancouver Island is definitely one place to put high on your bucket list. As your island gateway, Nanaimo Airport is conveniently nestled in the Central Island. It's located right between the hubs of the Cowichan Valley and Nanaimo, and you're only moments away from the ocean surf, mountain bike trails, year-round golf, wineries, and majestic mountains, just to name a few. The air terminal building has more than tripled in size over the years thanks to many projects that have taken place and a 20-year expansion plan for the building. And super fun fact, did you know that Nanaimo Airport actually started out as a base for the Royal Canadian Air Force? It was for glider pilot training facilities and wartime emergency airfield. And now more than 80 years later, it's a regional airport that's connecting Vancouver Island to the world. So definitely put Nanaimo Airport on your next destination list when you go to Vancouver Island. So go get outside and explore. If you like this episode, please subscribe, download a few more, and leave a review. I really would love to hear from you, what you enjoyed and what your key takeaways were. And of course, please let me know if there's any aspect of the travel industry you want me to talk about next. You can also search for the hashtag SheDaresToTravelPodcast on Instagram and comment on the episode's post with your questions. I'd love to answer them all for you guys. I hope you enjoy your day, stay so well, and until next time, fly straight.